getting a line.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live. And this episode is all about dreams. And some of these dreams perhaps maybe more than just a fantasy. And with me this evening is my beanie buddy, all the way from Ghost Mortem to Friday Night Live, Jonathan Lim.
Woo! Hello, everybody.
What's up, John? How was it like being on Friday Night Live last week?
It's the second week already. It's quite exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I realize I'm sitting so close to the screen. Why am I sitting so close to the screen? Okay.
Is that where your mic is?
I'm trying to read comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do what we do best. I know Shannon has been here really early. Ju Chong as well. Shannon is asking if ET is coming on tonight. No, ET is coming in April. Ooh. Sonia Kurana in March. JDC, Apex Predator in May. So your favorite host will be coming back, making appearances on the show. But today we have a different host, different guest rather.
I mean, this we call it the revolving door, right? So exciting because you never know who you're gonna get next. You know, but I think it's very exciting because you want to get different opinions, right, on the confession. Sometimes certain confessions you need an expert, right, someone who's been in exactly the same kind of circumstance, and then sometimes you just want the man in the street, you know, and then sometimes, of course, you know, it's nostalgia, you know, and it's an old friend of Supernatural Confessions. So I think that revolving door brings us a whole different flavor every week, you know, so it's never the same. It's quite cool, you know, in case you get bored with Eugene and me, you know, there's always an exciting third party, you know.
And some of you may not be, privy to some of the changes that has been made, and you might be confused. What the hell is going on? So this season, we wanted to bring back some old flavor, and the old flavor was just two men. It was myself, Team O, and we really dissected a lot of the confessions. And I felt that the audience, you guys, have been with us for close to 6 years now. That's 3 seasons of host change, and each host they do 2 years tour of duty. So you guys are so experienced that I feel we need to really dissect the story, give it its seriousness, right? And I think
the deep dive, right? The deep dive.
And I felt Jonathan Lim as my anchor co-host is the person that can bring you that, because he too has written a book called Of Ghosts and Men. Is it? Did I get the name right?
Terrible, no, you. Between Gods and Ghosts.
Yeah. And John, I think he goes on the side of logic. You explain a bit of what this logic is, John?
Logic. So logic is a term that we coined in Ghost Mortem, actually, 2 seasons ago. We coined this term because there's a certain rationale, right? There's a certain sensible, practical way of understanding even the supernatural. You know, just because it's supernatural does not mean it's anyhow. Does not mean, you know, anything goes. You know, it's not true, right? The other side, whichever side you're talking about, has rules of its own, right? And it's important for us, out of respect, but also out of protection, to try to understand those rules. You know, so for me, there's a logic, right? The logic behind the law, right? Whenever you listen to a confession, that's the first sort of filter that I apply, right? Does this make logical sense? You know, based on what we know of this culture, of this context, of this type of haunting, does it click? Right? And it's never to doubt. It's never to sort of, you know, judge the confession, but rather so that we can ask better questions, so that we can try to fill in the gaps and then try to identify, right? And in case, you know, help is needed, this is how you diagnose something. You ask the questions, just like your GP would, right? You ask the questions because the person feeling the thing may not know how best to describe the sickness.
Yeah,
right? So that's our job.
Hanafi is asking, what happened to the old crew? The old crew is around. Let's give them a break. They have been sacrificing their Fridays non-stop for 2 years, boys. Let's just give them some time off. Also with Kim, Kukubert Kim, he is he's doing a lot of hosting on Friday nights. That's his main Rise Bowl. So tough to commit. We have JDC who's just got changed to new job. Sonia, I think she's back. This time she's back, but she's I
back.
think, probably I wouldn't put it past her that she's traveling somewhere in the world again.
Yeah, I mean, after COVID, everyone's life bounces back to normal, and then you realize that actually people not so free. Yeah.
Oh, we have our Eugene in the chat room as well. Hello, Eugene. Our Eugene is one of our pioneers actually, and he's also the confessor, our first confessor for tonight.
I met Eugene. He went on the Haunted Changi tour with us. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was also the time where he looked at me and I looked at him and said, "Hey, Eugene, I haven't seen you in a while." He goes like, "You almost cannot see me because I almost died." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. Also, the confession came since then, since that period.
Correct. So I spoke to him and
okay.
after that I met up with him to get his confession.
Okay.
Okay, but today we have a special guest.
Yes, tell us all about it.
Introducing Belinda Gan, who I first met at the Life show last year. And we have Mermaid Ariel, we have Shimin, we have a few others who grabbed me by the arm and says, "You have got to talk to Belinda. She is gold standard confessor." I was like, okay. I need to talk to this Belinda. And
what makes her gold standard?
She has the third eye. And she had her first experience since 5 years old.
Wow.
And you thought I was the guy who goes, "It must be the hantu." She embodies must be the hantu.
It confirm must be the hantu.
Yeah, so she's gonna give me a run for my hantu money today. Let's bring on
All right.
Belinda Gan.
Woo!
Hey, Belinda.
Hi. Happy Friday.
Yeah. It's very nice to be here today. Finally, I was like waiting since last year. I was like, when's the Friday night live?
When's the Friday night live, or when is it your turn to be here?
A bit of both. Because
okay,
I lost my entertainment since October already last year.
So were you surprised when Eugene invited you to be on the show?
Yes, a little bit surprised. I was like, I also can. I was like, thank you.
What do you mean? Okay, you're the perfect candidate. Already he has given you gold standard. Okay, so you got a really high bar to maintain tonight, okay? You must
I will
gold
tell
standard.
you the reasons why it is the hantu and why it must be the hantu.
And let's see whether Eugene will become rational instead.
Might be.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Might be, yeah.
today's theme is about dreams. So dreams is very. The reason I put this together because I felt there is so much to talk about when it comes to dreams. It's very easy to just go, "Yeah, you're dreaming," full stop. But I believe a topic like this has not been really discussed in that kind of details that we're gonna bring to you tonight. So hopefully sitting here today and you guys thinking, I've been with SC since 2019. They cannot surprise me anymore. I hope you walk away with something new from us today.
We try.
Okay, now.
So what's our first confession?
Our first confession is from this guy called Eugene Ao. And as mentioned just now, Eugene Ao joined us in about 2019. And back then we were running something called SC Expedition, where we were bringing people from the community, anyone and everyone who wants to learn how to investigate and do proper investigation at haunted places to join us, and we sort of impart that knowledge to them. Eugene Ao was probably the only one, I guess, who managed to go all the way to the very end, and we even filmed him doing a solo at Pasir Ris Suicide Tower. You can go and check out our YouTube channel called Bird Watching Tower of Pasir Ris and look for Eugene Ao. So he was soloing that one, and in that episode he heard knocks, and I think something just goes off. So I've not heard from him in a while, and when I finally met up with him, he lost a lot of weight, and he said he just came back and survived a near-death encounter. In his confession, he spoke about what went wrong with his body, but when I asked him, I said, how did it all happen like this? Was there genetic? Was there some form of, there must be a trigger, right? Maybe down your lineage. He says, no, my body just gave way overnight. So I look at him, he looked at me, I go like, so you think it must be the... Well,
because you brought him to Pasir Ris Suicide Tower, is it?
Yeah. Since then his life are downhill, right? Okay.
Yeah, see?
Let's take a listen to Eugene Ao's confession about what he encountered during the time when he was in ICU. You were in hospital.
Yes.
And why were you even in hospital for this?
So I suffer some health complications.
And was this the one where you almost died?
Yes. So basically, I also have a flash before my eyes. I really saw like the past. At that point, I thought I will just pass away.
What happened to you medically that you were close to death?
My internal organs actually burst. My muscle tear. When I keep vomiting, it's actually caused one of my lungs to actually collapse. The doctor said if I have go in 1 day earlier, I would have made it. After I done my operation, I was in the ICU. There is something very funny that happened to me. Is I hear there was music. Even I asked my brother, "Have you heard music?" My brother said no. So it's really, oh my god! I say like, okay, that means once he say no, I know myself what happened really. So it's really, yeah. So I keep hearing people pacing up and down, even in the middle of the night. Sleepers, sa 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 sa. And the funny thing is that I don't know, is it my mind is playing trick on me or but it sounds. I even hear like the people is talking. I'm pretty sure the voices is from inside the ward, where I am sleeping.
What did the voices tell you?
I can't really hear what they are saying.
Was it
I
a
just,
private
hear
ward?
People talking, but I can't understand what they are saying. After I transfer to high dependency, I have one actually. I dream of something actually.
ICU is
I
private,
don't know
it's
can
not
consider
individual,
scary or whatever it is.
No man,
But
ICU is one room.
I dream that I actually float up to the
ICU is one
sun, like near where the sun is. And literally when I was in a dream, I can feel my whole body was burning out. It's really strange, and I don't know, it's because of my condition or something else. It's really a mysterious. I think some of the things that happened to me on that day when I was in the hospital, I'm pretty sure it couldn't been explained by logics. Even and because the ward that I stay in, there is I don't know what kind of machine is that in my mind that the machine, like, because if after darkness, if the thing, it looks like a robot, just hanging there like that, something like that. I felt the thing is talking to me. I felt like something is over there, like talking, communicating with me.
They can hear us talking.
Yeah. So I think this is the I think as far as I can remember, this is all the stories that I encountered over there. Hospital.
I like it. He said, this must be defies logic. I like it.
Let's see. Okay, so let's kick it off with Belinda. Tell us, what's your take on his encounter?
For me, it must be the hantu. Maybe because after the trail, something follow him. He go alone, right, to the suicide tower. You see lah, then got 3 pretty girls follow him home.
Oh. Then it must be the Eugene lah.
Yeah,
it must be the Eugene.
Wow,
then you can never give him tips, ask him to, bathe with flower water or anything. He never do proper cleansing.
After that expedition, were there protective measures that he took?
Yes, I will never put anyone in harm's way without giving them some form of protection. In fact, Murali was there with us. Murali, Guru Murali? So he would do the cleansing after we leave. We never leave anyone.
How much time after the Pasir Ris trip was this?
Long time lah. It's not me. It's not me.
You sure? You sure? Okay. Maybe he went back again. Maybe he went back again on his own. Did you actually ask him? Did you ask him what he thought it might have caused it? Did he have any other expeditions before he fell sick?
No. I think Eugene Ao is in the group chat. You guys can ask him questions. Eugene Ao, did you go anywhere anywhere dirty that would cause you to be sick?
Yeah, please let us know what your suspicions were, because that will help our discussion. But yes, so Belinda, back to you. So it must be the hantu. Tell us more.
Correct, because when I look at his video, I have never met Eugene before, but judging from his video, he looked like he's in the young 20s. So very, very unlikely he will have serious health conditions. He's mentioned his lungs collapse and things like that. So it is kind of like it also put a question mark on my face. I just like, no, he has a lung collapse, and then he also mentioned when he listened, when he was in the hospital, he hear like music and he hear footsteps every day when he's in the hospital. So that's like, I think, when you are sick, you're not in a proper health,
Yep.
this kind of spiritual attacks can happen. So it
Mm.
must be the hantu.
Yeah, I gotta agree with
I mean-
Belinda there.
Oh wow, what a surprise.
Oh.
Wow. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So
Tell us why.
Okay, this came from my grandmother. My Peranakan grandmother, she has a lot of pantang. She
Right.
believes that when you are sick, she used this word un. I don't know whether how many of you
Un.
remember this old
What un
un.
mean?
Your un is low. Your soul.
Okay.
Your
right.
your chi, your un is low.
Yeah.
So when you're sick, your sway, your un is low, you will attract these things. Either you attract them or they are already there, and because your defense are lowered, you can see them. So especially in the hospital, where most people are on the threshold of both worlds, this creates a huge confluence of energy in that one area, and you would hear a lot of things walking. Now the question is, was he haunted in hospital, or was he just experiencing the things that are already walking around hospital? And because he is in a state where his un is low, he's high on medicine, he start to hear and see things. Now I don't think in his confession there were any evidence at all of him being haunted or his life was in danger. Even the last part where he says, I saw this machine and it looks like something and it's talking to me. I'm a bit 50-50 on that. Why I say that is,
Right.
if he said, I saw a shadow in the corner stepping out and talking to me, I will go, wow, this one, likely hantu. But he says, I saw a machine. And if you look at all those hospital machine in the dark and you're already spooked because you hear the Chinese music, you hear the walking thing, it's quite easy to also then look at everything around you and go, it's the hantu.
Yeah.
What was also interesting was the Chinese song. I asked him, what is the kind of Chinese song that you heard, right? And he was saying it's like mama, mama something. So I said, is it like the old Chinese radio type, the 1920s? He said, yeah, it sounds something like this. And he
Mama. Okay.
and he said he talked to his brother, and this is why it's interesting. If it's just him hearing all this, sure, my friend, you just came out of a surgery, you are high and doped up, understandable, you imagine things. But when he heard something,
Right.
his brother didn't. He heard the shuffling of the footsteps. Now, all this is, I feel, is not just that moment where he come out of surgery. It's over a prolonged period. So maybe it's not so much a medicine anymore. So I feel I'm leaning more towards his un is low. He's just more susceptible to the experiences around him, and those, and that's where he got to pick into the hantu world.
And so in the hantu world, there's this soundtrack lah, which is Mama. What would your explanation of the Mama song be in the hantu world?
Maybe someone in that very same ICU ward was playing that song and passed away while that song was playing, because when death happens, there's a burst of energy, and everything in that moment gets frozen in time, and that's why you have things like recurring haunting, where you see this person running and jumping down, but actually there's no haunting. It's just a snapshot of that moment in our space and time. And science, we have not kind of explained how that works, so we just call it haunting. But I believe someone died, music was playing, at the point of death, energy exploded, imprint in the place. He gets to tap onto that frequency, and he hears that.
I like. Okay, I mean, I love two things about what you're saying, right? You know, number one, of course, yes, the idea of the un being low, right? Or in Chinese terms, the yin. You know, he's being more yin because he's sick, right? And of course, you know, emotionally and mentally drained as well, right? So he's susceptible, whether susceptible to spiritual attack or just more sensitive to things. I think that's where the crossroads are, lah. Right? You know, some will say, oh, he gonna attack, he gonna invaded, blah blah blah. Others will say it's because he's hypersensitive in that mode. You pick up on things that others may not pick up on, right? And that is where then you connect to your second point, which is that there are imprints. right? There are imprints that might be here, which science has not yet fully explained, right? But to me, it is something that is I call it para supernatural, something that used to be supernatural but is almost scientific already. We're just waiting for someone to put a name to it, and then Bill Gates to commercialize it and make it an app, where you can download the app and then pick up songs from the past that's in your room. I
Hantu
think
GPT.
we're this close. We're this close, okay? But I think that yes. So I think that a hospital definitely is a place where a lot of let's call them imprints, memories, whatever you want, right? Have been collected because of the intense emotions, right? Of grief, of loss, of pain, right? So if you're thinking of a place that has a lot of things to record, a hospital has a lot, right? And someone, I think, in that state is, I think, a lot more susceptible to receiving that kind of thing. I want to add a little thing also about I was reading a lot about near-death experiences at one stage in time, and they talk about how the body, when in extreme pain, or when the body is sort of, in a way, the body is panicking, right? Because things are not working, right? And it can't cope, right? And one of the first things it does is it tries to protect your consciousness, right? It tries to protect the HQ, all right? And the first thing it does is it releases opiates, right? So that it tries to sort of suppress the pain. It tries to distract you from the pain. Imagine if you're lying there in a hospital bed and all you are is conscious of pain. Wow, I tell you, it's horrendous, right? So what the body does is it releases opiates to, let's say, hallucinate, to make you hallucinate, right? To make you think of other things, right? And then you forget the pain. And in that forgetting, maybe your body is trying to cope, trying to heal, trying to whatever, trying to fight. But it needs your brain to be distracted, right? Because the brain just gets in the way. Your conscious mind gets in the way. So suddenly our senses go astray. We start to hear things. We start to, so like, for example, the whole idea of the when you near death, you see the your life flashing before your eyes, right? A lot of that can be down to the opiates. Because you bring back all the things you remember, the things that your brain wants to remember, and you distract yourself with that while your body does its thing. So I think in his extreme state of physical shutdown, his mind was going places that I think it had to go just to protect him, just to keep him sane, right?
Yep, that may be true, but I want to pass the mic back to Belinda because she had an experience. Belinda has her featured confession tonight at 11:30, so listen up for that one. She will give you the full rundown of a haunting at 11:30. But for now, I just want to know the question. Belinda, you have had experience of obviously you have the third eye as well, and you said in the video that it's not fully open, which means you can sense and see shadows and shapes, but not see full details. But you also said some of them are just wandering by, and some of them are actually malicious. Can you give, for those of us who cannot feel, cannot see anything, can you let us know what's the difference in that? How does it feel?
I have, just a bit of context. So I have been living in my house. I just recently moved out lah. So I have been living in my family house for about as old as I am. I'm 26 this year. 27, sorry. Yeah.
It's about my age lah.
20 odd years already. Then afterwards, the scary thing is that this house is, because it's an OHDB, is quite big. It's a 5-room flat. So the house is quite spacious. And from young, I will see people just walking past the kitchen. However, there's nobody there. Then they will just walk into the wall. Then when I see that, I'll just stop and I'll just U-turn. I'll just go the other way. I don't want to go there already. Okay. Then I also will see sometimes just people just chilling, or just people just curiously looking at you. But you fully know that there's nobody there. So it's just you slowly question, am I sane? Am I insane? Is this real? Yeah. So after that, the very scary thing is that all these are just passerbys. So they are just if you go kopitiam, the uncle just look at you eating your cai fan. this kind of thing is like quite normal. The uncle is not malicious, or the uncle can't, steal your cai fan. He can't come and harm you, right? So it's like, you want to see law, you see me eating cai fan and enjoying my rice, that's okay. But the scary thing is like, so there was this particular room that I stayed in. It has a very, very, very negative aura to it. So every night, my head and my feet are not facing the wall lah. If some people are talking about feng shui and things like that. So I will see a humanoid figure every night. When I'm going to sleep. So I can't see her fully. I have not seen her face, but I know she's very angry and she's like staring at you. So that is like super scary to me. And when I was sleeping in that room for about 2 to 3 years, I keep falling sick, then I keep stomach pain for no reason. Doctor tell me I don't know why this is happening to you. All the scans come up negative. You are perfectly healthy. But I have a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible nightmares. And like, just that thing just asks you to go out. Just asks you to, don't stay in the room anymore. This is my space. So that is a very different kind of feeling from like, versus the, random uncle looking at you eating your cai fan.
Actually, Belinda, have you ever been to a hospital? I'm assuming you have, right?
No. I have been to like hospital for checkup, day surgeries and things like that. So all this while hospital is quite okay, because usually when I do need to visit the hospital, I'm like quite gravely ill already. So the spirit actually attacked me, and then I went to the hospital like twice at the night. So it was a very terrible feeling. The doctor just like cannot give me an answer why am I this sick. Yeah. So at that point of time, I was like dying already,
So you got attacked by spirits and then you got to the hospital. So in comparison, the spirits in the hospital
is safer. Hospital is safer. You should just stay in hospital.
The doctor don't want to ward me. I cannot do anything.
Okay.
Wow.
They like, you're fine. Go home.
I mean,
go on.
Yeah, the difference, right, that Belinda brought up, right, between the cai fan hantu, right, which I think Jillian has pointed out in the chat, right, as residual hauntings, right, which are close to what we were talking about earlier, the idea of something imprinted, right, someone who walked here before, now still walking here, walking through the wall, doesn't care about you, just doing their thing, right. On the other hand, a spirit that is obviously focused on you, has an agenda about you, maybe is possessive about the room. I mean, that is definitely, a whole other kind of thing, I think, but I mean, coming back to Eugene's story, right? I think so. Comparing the two accounts, right, Belinda's account and his account, then it's clearer that his is residual hauntings. Whether it's the mama song or the footprints, or I think it's stuff that, I mean, okay, if you want to go truly rational, right, you can go even further and say that senses are so hypersensitive, right, in a near-death situation, that he's actually picking up sounds from next door or from the corridor, but they sound really near because he's that sensitive, right? It's like an animal level of hearing, right? Because the rest of your body is shutting down, right? And we all know that when the body shuts down, whatever senses are still strong tend to get heightened, because your body is trying to find some sort of balance, right? So that's the extreme rational version, but it's also possible that he's picking up on residual hauntings. What there isn't is an entity specifically.
Well,
right?
He did say there was one in the room that came to talk to him, remember?
Yeah?
The last part, remember I showed the hospital bed? He said he saw the equipment and it felt like as if there
That's
was...
what he imagined. He himself said it was
like
like it was talking to him. Yeah, even he doesn't quite believe that the machine was talking to him, or that the machine was possessed by a spirit. Okay, if it is, that's the first time I've heard of an entity possessing medical equipment to talk to you. I think that would be very nice to explore. That would be fringe material. Okay,
goes in the machine,
right?
Let's go to the
Modern
comment section. Yeah, let's go to the comment section and see if anyone has any hypothesis that they want to share with us.
Wow, so many comments today. So shocked. Okay.
I know Wong's asking, Belinda, when you see them, are they in color or grey color?
Okay, when I see them usually, because it happened very fast, they just like they just walk past. So usually if I were to really pinpoint and put the color on them, it will be like a bit of like light gray, kind of like bluish color. Yeah.
Okay.
So if any artists out there, it will be probably the color C3, Copic marker color.
Wow.
Oh, so specific.
Yeah.
C3,
So
guys.
if I paint my walls that color, I'll never see them again, because they will just blend
Maybe
into
you'll
the
see
walls.
the eyes, lor. They're just floating.
Oh, what color are the eyes? What color are the eyes?
Okay, I can't really see them properly because they just walk past you. It's very fast.
Right,
It's a
okay.
very fast thing that happened. But I actually did see one time, like very face to face in my face for about 5 seconds. They are kind of grayish color. Yeah. So I can see all the eyes and everything. They are very like human face like that. So they're not transparent. They're not anything. They're just like it's a very.
I know what Bill and Matt will say from On the Fringe. These are the grey aliens.
Yeah. I mean, there's such an obvious link in the color, right? You know, why are aliens this color and why are the spirits also this color? So this is where the multiverse begins to form. Okay, maybe it's all the same thing.
Right.
It's some gray ancient gods that are trying to reach out to us.
I said, speaking of...
Okay, let's see the comments.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, WSA said something very funny. What John is describing is what I go through during most meetings in the office. My mind spiritually flies out when my colleague starts spouting nonsense. Yeah, I think out of body experience happens all the time. Okay. In fact, I was watching a documentary about out of body experience, and the scientists there said that out of body is not just limited to like near death experiences, right? But like when you faint or when certain things happen. And then he also said that sometimes during orgasm it happens. I'm like, wow. Again, waiting for that orgasm to happen, okay, where you literally shoot out of your body and see yourself. That's amazing. So yeah, let's let's aim for that. Okay. Let's aim for that.
All right, orgasm. That spiritual expulsion by orgasm. That be maybe the theme of the next episode. So if any of you who have orgasm of that kind of nature and magnitude, and you want to share your confessions with me,
yeah, that deserves a confession.
Yeah,
we'll do a special episode Thursday night live.
Okay, so before we go on.
R18.
Yeah, that seems to be
R21
that would be
probably R21.
live on OnlyFans. Okay.
Speaking of OnlyFans, we are not on OnlyFans right now, but you can support us by buying us a coffee. We have buymeacoffee.com, Super Confess. All of us are doing this for love and passion, spending our Friday night. And if you would like to support us, you can just buy us a coffee, 3 coffees, 5 coffees, however you want. And they will be used for very, very, end of season. We'll probably like have a dinner and treat all the hosts, all the those who are working behind the scenes as something who've made this show possible, and that can only be possible through your generosity. If you think a coffee is too much and you don't have that bandwidth, that's okay, guys. You being here, chatting with us, waiting for us is the reward we seek. You make our Friday worthwhile being here and chatting with you guys. Share this with your friend, and if you know anyone at all who has a story to tell or a confession to make, let them know the address, supernaturalconfessions.com, and I'll be happy to talk to them one-on-one. But for now,
think of Eugene as the old man watching you eat cai fan. He wants to hear he wants to hear your story. All right, your hantu uncle is there. I just saw 2 amazing questions that go to Belinda. I don't know whether we have time, but I'll just reflect them. During Hungry Ghost Festival, do you see a lot walking around more than usual? Ivan is asking. And then another one. Wait, I asked both first. And then KK Heng is asking, based on your experience, how accurate is the representation of the experience in the movie The Eye? 见鬼.
Okay. I'll answer the first question first. So during 7 months, to me things are still as per normal, but maybe this one is for another confession for another time. Because I cannot confirm whether this person is real or not, or maybe I'm just thinking too much. This person actually followed me home.
Oh.
So yeah, it was in the middle of the night. Then I see him like a few times already. That is like it's very strange. So to me, it's like, is it a stalker? Is it like, is it another kind of
Eugene is
ghost?
smiling that way. Yeah.
Is it a 色鬼?
Yeah, there's some cirque on the comment section tonight.
What about the movie Tian Kui? The movie The Eye.
Okay, for the 见鬼, I haven't watched it yet. If it's not too scary, maybe perhaps I will watch it.
Okay.
If not, I will just like, okay.
We need to
I
do
will
a
come
ghost
back again.
mortem. We need to do a special ghost mortem episode where you do live commentary while watching Tian Kui with Eugene and me.
You know, hey,
And then
John,
every time a ghost appear, you can say on a scale of 1 to 10, accurate or not.
hey, you know what we should do or not, John? We should get all these people with a third eye, sit there. We show them scenes from horror movies, right? And then you say like, how accurate is this? And you're like, people with third eye reacts. Ayo, that's so untrue. Ghosts don't look like that.
I think it's called the Ghost Mortem Ghost Standard. Okay, Ghost Standard.
Ghost standard. Okay, anyway, let's get to our next confession. This one, I would strongly encourage you to listen to last week's Friday Night Live featured confession. This is by Siva. It's on YouTube on Supernatural Confessions. But if you have not watched it, we will show you a short clip and we'll be discussing it. So go and listen to it after this. Let's
any context on Shiva's experience?
context. Siva's home, right? He's been staying there for a long time, and then he left for Vietnam for work, and his father passed away. He came back, and he realized that his room was taken over by his brother. It was did not look like anything that it was when he left. He felt a certain strangeness about the room. It's dark and it's just very unnerving. People were getting sick. He stayed there for 14 days. And in that time when he came back, and some weird things
because
happened.
he came back to deal with his father's funeral.
Father's funeral, correct.
Right? Yeah. And the period of time that he was away also included COVID. Right? So he came back after COVID. Okay.
So in that time when he was in a room, he lost 5 kg. He had nightmares. All up, he felt something was wrong. And when he left the place and he went home, back to Vietnam, somewhere in mid-flight, he felt like, in his words, I walked out of a daze and I could recall everything. And that's where he decided to fly back again to help his mother, because his mother is the only one left. His brother is behind bars, and he says, I need to do something to that house before, or to that room, not the house, to the room.
Just the room. Yeah.
Before something happens to my mom. And he came back, and I met him at IKEA. That's where the confession took place.
We can literally see the meatballs. Okay.
Okay, let's have a listen.
My memory of staying in that place for 18 years was that it has always been a very nice, bright spot where you have the sun coming in, and the walls were green, the floor is white. So I remember a lot of brightness. But this time when I came back, he kind of changed everything. Like he removed the ceiling, the lights, and turned it into a ceiling fan. And then like there was a lot more black, a lot more darker colors and stuff like that. And there was a big TV screen and all that. The first sense I got, right, was that something wasn't really, something didn't really click. I was sleeping in that room, and then I had a nightmare, which never happens. I never have nightmares. I never had dreams. Like even if I have, also I'll forget about it the next morning. But this one particular night, I had a very clear nightmare. Even until now, I can remember, where I was walking outside my block, along the road, and then I felt like someone was following me. And when I turned around, I saw like someone wearing a grey, like a guy wearing a grey t-shirt, grey hoodie, and pants, but I couldn't see his face clearly. So he was walking behind me. So I was just like, okay, I'll just walk faster. And then when I turned around, I saw he was also walking faster. And then I had this sense of anxiety, and this was while I was still sleeping. A sense of anxiety, like something is not right. So I just dashed across the bushes into one of the nearby blocks, right? And then I woke up. So I knew I escaped him. And when I woke up, I had an anxiety attack that lasted for about 1 minute. Like the kind of heart attack, chest tight, compressed kind of feeling, unable to breathe, which has never happened before. So that was the time when I realized that, okay, I need to do something. So I started paying more attention to around the house. I cleared out his room, I cleared out everything. And then I also noticed, like outside the room itself, facing the entrance, right, there's a lot of black mold on the air conditioning, the pipe covering thing, which to me was really weird, because black mold, normally you find it in abandoned buildings, or you find it in like a cemetery, or stuff where you have high humidity and low sunlight. So to see it inside the house itself, right, facing the entrance, I was like, to me that was a sign that something like there's something dirty inside. Now I tell you the other weird thing. I only realized all this, right, after I left Singapore on my first trip. So 16 days I was there, right. It didn't occur to me all these things were happening until I left. I was on the flight on the way home. When I was in mid-flight, then I can feel like my mind was starting to clear up. Like suddenly you feel like the clouds are starting to clear up, and then you see more clarity. And that's when it started to occur to me, like, oh shit, what just happened in the last 16 days? So that's the thing that really caught to me. That's the main reason why I came back.
Okay, that is Siva.
Wow.
So
Siva was also with us last week, in the form of a triple Pontianak versus the leopard spirit. Very exciting. It's like one of those amazing horror movies that must be made. Okay, so if you didn't catch that last week, please go and watch the replay on YouTube. Okay, it's a really exciting confession. Okay, but okay, as for his experience this week in his house, come tell us. What do you think, Belinda?
You know what I'm gonna say?
No, I have no idea.
Hantu.
What makes you so sure? Okay.
Okay, speaking from experience, so normally if you stay in a haunted house, it affects your feeling, your thinking, and your reaction and everything basically. So your reaction time maybe might be slower, or it might be, something never occur to you unless you stay away from the house for a while. So Siva mentioned that after he left the house, he actually regained his clarity, and he can think much better. So to me, it's a sign. It must be the hantu. Yeah, but I do have a bit of question, a few questions for Siva. I don't think he's here today, right?
But maybe Eugene might know from his conversation with him.
Okay,
Yeah, please ask. Please ask.
You can
yeah.
text
So
me,
the
and you can
question
ask me.
is-
I'll text him.
Okay, so the question is, how did the hantu actually appear in his house in the first place? Is there some changes when he was not around? Then after that, suddenly someone invited the hantu in, or maybe perhaps did someone actually say, hey, I welcome you with open doors, maybe bring some the baby dolls, or the what's it called, gumantong, this kind of things. Yeah, so when this kind of things, nobody take care of it, and it start to have aggression and things like that. So to me, when he was dreaming about the entity, chasing after him, maybe perhaps he was like asking for help, or maybe have a message for him. So also, fair warning to all our listeners, before you go and confront or go and speak to an entity, okay, this is speaking also from experience, please go and find an expert with you to do it together if you really want to do it.
Yes.
If not, then you can just try to find as much details as possible. I did a reading recently, and I found out that the spirit, the black figure I tell you about, I see every night.
Yes.
I thought he was a spirit, but end up, after everything, it clicked to me. Why is she so aggressive? Why is she so violent? Why is she so hateful? Why is she trying to ruin people's life, make people sick and all these things? It's because she's a jinn. Yeah, and that's why her presence was very, very, very strong. It makes me super uncomfortable, and she's looking for a new master. So
so does that mean she wants you to be her new master?
yeah, so I actually didn't tell anybody about this.
We'll keep it a
reader
secret,
actually-
just between us.
yeah. The reader actually told me that she hates men. She hates men a lot. So that's why all the spirit people that actually come and cleanse the place can't get her away. So yeah, back to Shiva's story. I think that you better have an expert come and really cleanse the house. I think that will be a proper procedure to do it.
To answer some of the questions that you have, what happened to his house, whether it's a kumantong. No, it's not a kumantong. He did not find any occult matters, occult artifacts behind. He also said it was not a black magic. He didn't think it was black magic. He also had someone in Vietnam, the equivalent of a feng shui master or some form of cleansing, maybe not the fight ghost one, but more feng shui type, to sort of help give him things to elevate.
She gave him crystal.
So he believes that it's actually got to do with someone visiting his house because he brought back a lot of friends. So is the energy
the brother, right?
The brother brought back friends.
Yeah.
So could it be that some of these people they are dabbling in things and they come in, and some of these, entities decide to take this home for themselves, or because the brother was already susceptible to a lot of these influences, why would he want to change the whole room to make it look dark? Is that really his brother's behavior or not? Because Siva didn't tell me about his brother's sort of what kind of sub community the brother is from. But many times when people do certain things, we can say that, or I believe, it's through the influence of an entity whispering something to the ear. The Muslim believes that there's actually the jinn, where you start to behave a certain way, but you think it's your behavior. But is that really your behavior or the influence of something external? So in this case of Siva's room story, he believes it's someone brought something to the room and it never left. Yeah.
Okay.
He was very sure it's the hantu. There was no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's very sure. I mean, I'm interested in the fact that it seems to be something contained in his room, but at the same time, a lot of bad things were happening to him, in general, right? His mother being unwell, his father passing on, and all these things. So I wonder what that connection is there. I see a certain mismatch. Is it really something about the room, or is it something about that moment in the family's life? Because we must bear in mind, for example, that being away during COVID, and not being there when a parent passes away, coming back to deal with the funeral, all of this is very unstabilizing, mentally speaking, right? To say that you would have a nightmare when you normally don't have a nightmare, I wouldn't say that's surprising in a situation like this. To have an anxiety attack suddenly come upon you, to lose weight, to lose energy, it's not surprising at all, and on top of that, also from feng shui perspectives, right, definitely what has happened to the room has literally made it darker, right? He described how if you watch the full video, right, the moment he removed the decal from the window to let sunlight in, he could feel it getting warmer. I'm like, yes, that's exactly how both sunlight and feng shui work, that you emotionally and psychologically respond to a warmer, brighter room. Right? So is that hantu? Is that how we function? Or is that really the hantu side of us, lah? I think this is why this is really cool for me, because I like how some of these confessions take us into the parts of our own psychology that cannot be explained. How come we are so sensitive to certain things? Or certain people are sensitive to certain things and other people are not. How in fact, how does feng shui even work? Right? It's so magical and yet it's so practical and sensible at the same time. So to me, again, it is the sort of para supernatural. Okay, once again, that I think we are so close to understanding it already. I think I mean, I've got a little bit of black mold on my aircon.
Hantu lah, John.
Must be the hantu.
Because I go and search your house.
And Eugene pointed out that it's very weird that it's only on one, but I it's only on one because that's the one that's leaking, and the other aircon units are fine.
John, John, have you considered the possibility that your living room is haunted? I think you should bring the camera around. Hey, Belinda, you need to be his radar and go and take a look at his house and see whether it's clean or not.
I have so many aquariums in my living room. Sometimes if the fish are staring at something, I wonder what they saw.
Bro, right? I told you about a lot of these times when I talk to you about SC confessions. Water is the conduit for spirit. You got all these fish tanks. No wonder your living room is haunted lah.
My house, to a feng shui master, my house is very yin because it's always wet. Okay, and it was so wet that you can hear crickets. Okay, no.
I see.
If some of you are wondering where the crickets are coming from, they have escaped. I feed crickets to some of my fish and my frogs, and some of them tend to get away from me. So somewhere in my house, there's a bunch of crickets making noise, and it's driving me crazy.
Actually, Belinda, can you see hantu through the screen? Like if something's standing beside me, can you actually see it?
Oh. The reason also why I mentioned my third eye is not so like open, right? It's because I want to close it. I am mentally blocking myself from seeing, so I am not so receptive anymore. I've been like telling myself since young, no, cannot see.
Yeah.
So no, I can't see through the screen. But I do know of people, and I have heard of people saying that they can see good spirits also. Yeah, especially like I showed them one of your videos. Then they say, hey, actually there's the master, right? Actually have like good spirits around them. Yeah, they say good spirits is like a glow of light. Yeah, that's what they mentioned. But I've never seen any good spirits before in my life. All of them I see, they are all very sad and negative for some reason. Yeah.
I mean, one thing I'm always fascinated by, right, is the sort of hierarchy, right, of the spirit world, and I think all the different. So just now we mentioned jinn already, right? So the shadow in your room, which you thought might be a ghost, is actually of a higher order, right, higher up the ladder, and I think they all have different frequencies. Right? Whatever that frequency means, lah. Okay, but so certain people can see certain things more than others, and I think it takes a great master to be able to see all of them. From gods to ghosts, right? Reference to my book. Yeah. So, I think most of us see the ones that are closest to us, right? The ones that are nearest to the humans. But I think the powerful ones can see the other entities, the older entities, the ancient spirits, the jinns. Those are a whole other, a whole other sort of world of the supernatural, that I think we are yet to understand, lah. But, I mean, I want to talk about jinn a little bit later because that is connected to our third confession.
Okay, then in the meantime, I'm going to be reading out some comments from the comment section. Where else? Donnie Darwin AJC. Last week's confession. Someone must have brought something home to his room. This is in reference to Siva's story, yeah? Or someone does something and vengeful people may have sent something over to increase the negative energy. KK Heng says, Siva also living in the East. Wow, that side really fierce. It is true. And in tonight's featured confession, in Belinda's story, you will hear that she brought something back from Yishun to Tampines.
Oh, no.
The brother that in Bread Magic, Saravanan is asking. No, I think I clarified that just now.
Donnie Darwin says, black mold growing in Taoist can be water presence and a yin negative attraction. Possible?
I like WSA's suggestion. Belinda needs to join as host again when Sonia comes on. We have Super Rational versus the Must Be the Hantu. John and I will just sit there and watch.
Yeah, we just let them fight it out.
Go.
Hey, why want to pin two women against each other? We should be, 2023 already.
The live show. We have that one corner each.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah. Navinet, Ivan says, story 1, story 2, Must Be the Hantu. Because I'm all very democratic about this, I'm going to, call for a vote amongst the hosts. Story 1, Must Be the Hantu?
Yes.
Story 2, Must Be the Hantu? Okay.
Yes.
It seems we all outvoted. John.
I didn't even vote. I'm outvoted tonight. No, it must be the para hantu. Okay? That's my new term. Okay, the scientific version of the hantu.
Joe Kek asks, can I ask Belinda if there's any particular public place in Singapore where she sees a lot of them? If it's too sensitive to tell, hint.
Again, sorry guys to disappoint you. Not fully open yet. I have to be in the place for quite some time. Unless they are like, they want to show themselves very much, then I will be able to see them. So in my line of work, I need to go to client's house and then sometimes visit them. So I ever at one of my client's house before, I see the sister who already no longer there.
Oh.
So sometimes it's very random one. There's no particular hotspot as per se. Yeah. So I think the sister just wanted to say hi. Yeah.
If JDC was here, he would go, Shifu say, you not high level.
I also don't want to see enough already.
I think Rai also asked the same question. Which part is most hyung? So I think that explains that answers that question as well. Wow.
Choi Elaine is pointing out that Eugene's so happy tonight because all the votes are going your way. I'm very lonely. Okay, only Gil Chong is saying Team Hantu to the Black Mold story. No, sorry. Team
Team
Rational.
Rational. Yeah.
Team Rational. Yay. Okay.
Okay.
Hard to say lah. Really hard to say.
Para Hantu.
Okay.
You come up with what? Logical. Para
Logical,
Hantu.
and today is Para Hantu. Okay.
We need to make some merch already.
All right, man. Must be the Para Hantu.
Yeah.
But I think the third confession is definitely leaning 99% towards the Hantu lah.
Really?
Even I cannot rationalize that one.
Wow. Okay. So this seems to be a challenge for you guys listening in. If you're listening in and we're coming to the very last confession, I'm going to give it a bit more time because we have time now. I want to give it a bit more time. I think there's a lot to discuss, and I would love if you can chime in, those of you who are listening in, chime in what you think about this third story. I think there's a lot of way to go about it. I feel as I was reading it, and why is the third confession, it's going to take a while to talk about it. So again, if you want to buy us a coffee, if you're enjoying the show so far, you're new here, say hello. This is John on the extreme left, Belinda in the middle, and that's me, Eugene Tay. You can buy us a coffee at Super Confess. Every little cent goes a long way. Or alternatively, you could also like, share, and just give us your comments on what you love about us, and that would definitely make our day. But for now, let us go to the final confession. This one was submitted to us by Dion, and we're going to have our guest read out the confession in her most hantuistic way possible.
Yay, go!
Take it away.
Yeah. So the reason why I stopped jogging at late at night. So this is a confession by Dion Lee. A little bit context. She's a financial advisor. So on with the story. So one of the things that I love to do is to jog late at night. Usually around 10 plus p.m. The reservoir is usually quite empty by then, and I can have the whole place to myself. So I will usually play the Supernatural Confession podcast and just listen to the story as I ran. Maybe, perhaps, this might be a bad idea. So in some of the live show, you've talked about how listening or thinking about ghosts will actually attract them to you. Frankly, I didn't think much about it before. To me, it's quite a silly notion. What do you think? If you think of ghosts, then the ghost will come to you. Then if I think about money, then tomorrow I strike lottery lah. Doesn't work like that, right? Okay, so that's what I thought. But there was one time I was running in the middle of the night, and at a certain spot, the podcast suddenly just stopped playing halfway. So when I checked my phone, and it showed that the battery was empty. But this cannot be true because I always charge my phone fully before I run from my run. So my phone was only about a year old. So it has been more than 20 minutes since I run, but 20 minutes couldn't just possibly drain my battery so fast. So when my earbuds actually start beeping, it also start to shut down, indicating the battery was flat. I looked around me. I was totally in isolation. There was nobody around me, and the area had more trees than other parts of the area. So immediately I felt a cool sensation wash over me. I can't explain it. I can only describe that my body is slowly going into panic mode. While my mind is trying to figure out things, I hear a distinctive voice in my right ear say, "Go." I ran as fast as I could, but suddenly everything felt so heavy around me. And it was suddenly that the air became denser, and when I was running, I can feel like an invisible web on me. I didn't turn around. I feel that the sensation, there was something large coming after me. So all all I could do at the time was pray. And I tried to run as fast as I can. I don't know how long I was stuck in the loop, but when I was trying to escape, I guess my prayers might have been working, and I suddenly feel like I can run faster again. And the light from the park around me grew brighter. So when I turned around to look behind me, I think at this time my brain was really confused what's going on, and I was just trying to make sense of what's happening. Suddenly, I feel like I can see a arm around in the darkness where I just run past. So like I said, I was more logical than superstitious. So despite going through this, I feel that the first thought was to rationalize things. So afterwards, I feel really spooked out, and I finally quickly call my boyfriend to hear his voice for comfort. and to have him accompany me on the run home. So when I was searching his name in the phone book, it suddenly dawned on me, yeah, I have battery again. So previously when I checked, the screen was dead and there was a low battery sign. So the earbuds was suddenly working again. It was so bizarre. I looked up where the darkness was, and this time round, everything was back to normal, and it looks exactly like the place where I have jogged for so many, many, many years. So my question to Eugene and the supernatural team, what happened to me? So was it my imagination, or maybe perhaps I'm just tired, or could it be the EMF? So I went home and I took a shower and I felt a sharp pain on my back, as if I got a cut. So I asked my mom to help me check, and she asked me if there was a cat or animal that has pounced on me because there was sharp cuts down my back, as if some animal has clawed me. It couldn't be a cut because the cuts was very deep and very far apart, and I
It
bled
couldn't be a
through
cat.
my clothes.
Couldn't be a
Oh,
cat.
sorry. Yeah. So there was no damage on my clothes. It was just on my back. So after the incident, I stopped jogging at night, and I make sure that it was it's still the daytime when I was jogging and there's always people around. So yeah.
Jang, jang, jang. Hey,
Thank you, Belinda.
Linda, everyone wants to
Okay,
know
thank
what's that
you.
sound just now. The
Did you hear the sound? Did you hear the sound? There was like a
Oh
sort of
yeah. My house
balloon.
here very noisy. I think somebody ordered Grab maybe.
Che, we thought
Grab food.
it's someone say people was holding
Chair.
in a fart. Someone say it's the hantu. Someone say
No,
it's
no, no.
balloon.
It's like the e-bike brake, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Mystery solved, not the hantu guys.
Mystery solved. I like what WSA said. He likes jogging at night because it makes him run faster. So I think we keep this story in mind. The next time you go night jogging, you will run super fast. You will break your own record. Okay. Thank you for that reading. Okay. Eugene, you want to start this one off?
Yes, I want to say
What do
that
you think of it?
it's
Yes.
there. Dion is not the first who has said she listened to Supernatural Confessions and something happened. I have gotten quite a number of this, and I mean, I don't usually talk about this because they just send me a WhatsApp text and just a one-liner, so there's nothing much to talk about. But why this was something I brought up is Dion mentioned it in tonight's feature. Belinda mentioned it, and just last week someone said, "Hey, I cannot watch your Friday Night Live on Friday. I will have to watch it on Saturday morning." I said, "Why?" By the time I watch Friday Night Live, right, I cannot sleep. I start hearing things. So I want to know how many of you actually, if you have been a silent minority who have been listening to us and things happen to you, I would like to know. Reach out to me by text or in the comment section. Does it really work? Like, does listening to us at night really bring things to you guys? And Belinda's nodding away.
I think, and anyone out there who can communicate with the other side, please ask them if they have subscribed to Supernatural Confessions, because I think I want to see the demographics. I think we are gaining quite a lot of listeners on the other side. Okay, so
Yeah.
Eugene, you should be proud of yourself.
So if I go and see the analytics, I see like male, female, and others. I will assume the others is the other side lah. Okay, so what do I think about this?
So what do you think this late night jogging experience?
Okay, so just to share with you guys how I interview and how I investigate, I always look out for certain key things that would give me an indication that it's hard to explain. In this case, jogging, okay, going to a place that is well known in the east side for having disasters and scratches on the back, hearing things. So I have personally seen on more than one occasion scratches on the back appearing. One is in front of my eyes, in front of 14 different eyewitness during the Pasir Ris Hantu Walk. E.T. was there with me as well. I think Team O as well. This lady complained that she felt sudden pain behind her back. She lifted up her sports top. There's bra and everything, right? So she lifted up her top. We saw lines in front of her eyes, torchlight and all, going up from the top of her back, down through the sports bra and down to the waist. Cannot explain. No one could. The other one was in Johor Bahru Hotel. We went as a group. We stayed overnight, and my girlfriend then she had a nightmare. She started kicking. She says, "There's something in the room. There's something in the room." And then, after she sort of calmed down, and next morning when we took our clothes off, everything, there were lines at the back and claw marks.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's not like I struggled in bed and then there were lines. It's like how Dion described, or Dion's mom described. There is like cuts, and it's not like a cat paw where the claws are close together. This is separate. Yeah.
So our station Adrian Chua is asking, the cut on the back 3 lines or?
No, Dion did not say. And I think when I asked her about 3 lines, she said she can't remember. She just knew there were claw marks. Yeah.
Because Camellia 703 is saying that if it's 3 lines, it's Miss P. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, that's a piece of logic that's worth digging up. Okay.
I know the 3 lines thing with regards to logic. Many have said that it's actually a mockery of the Trinity. It's more of the Angmo, the Angmo mindset where bruises in 3, knocks in 3, claw marks in 3 is the mockery of the Holy Trinity. But I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm actually hearing is about Miss P. But then again, if you believe that all hantus are just different verticals of belief system, and there could be some truth to it.
That's the sort of Ed and Lorraine Warren kind of parapsychology, right? That everything's opposing the Trinity. And then if it's 4 lines, of course, it's Freddy Krueger lah. Okay, right?
That's why today's theme is about dreamscape.
Yes, there you go.
But one other thing I want to bring up, and again, because you asked me what I thought about this, where she jogged through a spot and then she felt that place was darker, and her battery
more
all
trees.
died. And she tried to run, something was holding her back. That to me, it's very scary. Like when she describes it, and I imagine myself in that position, it's almost like you are in another zone. Because luckily she ran out, and many stories talking about army boys, people going hiking, people walking to things, they tend to walk out of our reality timeline into another place. Got lost, time just flows very differently, and then they walk out. And of course the icing on the cake was when she turned back and then she thought she saw a hand goes back in. Just speaking about it now, just goosebumps all over. Now, I think the other thing is when we don't know something and cannot explain it, especially when we are in Asia, we tend to put all this category, all these unknowns into the hantu box. I'm now trying to wear the Bill and Matt's on the fringe hat. What if that was a different dimension, a weakness in the threshold of space-time, and she sort of fell into or walked into that cross line between our world and something else. And of course, when you walk into that world, there are things in that world that will reach out to you. But then she started praying, and whether the prayers worked or not, but she escaped. So close. So is it hantu? Is it para hantu signs? I don't know. Like, I want to know what you guys think. But to me, this is no way I can explain it in any rational fashion. Over to you guys.
Okay, so okay, let's tackle the fringe theory first, right? Is it possible, Belinda, that it was a dimensional thing, a time warp or a loop or something? What do you think?
I think very likely maybe she might have Jean playing pranks on her, because from what I understand and from what I've heard of, Jean usually like to stay in the nature, like the foresty tree areas. So she mentioned that she dropped into a very tree
a lot of trees, right?
Area. So maybe perhaps she stepped onto something, and maybe perhaps or she just opened that other dimension, then she could have been trapped. So to me, usually, I have never encountered Miss P before, but usually to me, those kind of more evil spirits, they can't really do harm to you also, because
Mm.
human, we are also protected.
Mm.
Whatever be it, their spirit guides you believe in, or whether is it like your gods you believe in, we are all protected. So unless they are like a, you know, the stronger level of like entity
Yeah.
that you mentioned,
Mm.
yeah, then they can do harm to you. And this is like some sort of like high level shit. She can do, you know,
Yeah.
drain the battery from the energy and all these things. Like, wow, this one don't know how many years old already. This entity.
It's
Yeah.
quite
So to
Marvel
me,
superpower, right? You can freeze her there, you
yeah.
can drain her battery, everything. Wow.
Correct. Then after that, trap her there some more. So it's like make her feel very weak and all this. I think
Mm.
this is a high level boss. This must be a boss spirit.
I like the idea of a jinn. You know, I think I think I've shared before the story of a taxi driver who was crossing a bridge, and he was also sort of he was trying to cross, and then he was prevented by the jinn. You know, because they didn't want him to go on that bridge because they were having a meeting. Apparently, it was a meeting place for
Okay.
jinn,
Clementi.
and he walked into their meeting lah, basically, you know. But they didn't freeze him. They just pushed him, but he's still stubborn, so he still walked through lah. So, you know, but they were trying to be nice. So that's a possibility. But if that's the case, then, you know, if it's jinn, right, then you have two choices, right? Either, like you say, it's a jinn who's playing tricks on her, in which case, then, you know, it could have gone really bad, right? It could have gone, you know, worse. On the other hand, it could also be knowing jinn logic, right? They got their own sort of world of things lah. So she could have walked into something sensitive,
Correct.
or there was some danger, or there was something ahead of her. So it just freezed her until it was safe, and then let her go.
So you
You
think
know,
it's a good thing, like she's being protected?
I think she was being kept there for a reason. You know, I don't think she was being harmed, because, I mean, with the kind of power that you imagine a jinn has, it could have done worse. You know, it's quite a pointless thing to do if you are really out to harm someone.
I think there's something up with Jonathan, no, guys. You notice now, if you all have been tuning in last week, he's also on the side of the hantu. I don't think they meant you any harm. I think they're there to protect you. Today
I'm
again,
always
no.
like that.
He's a hantu sympathizer.
I'm slippery as an eel. Okay. Okay, no lah. After a certain hour, a different Jonathan takes over. So just now my light suddenly went off, right? Now I'm different already.
Okay, the battery part, the battery part that
Yes.
went flat, guys. I have been in multiple situations. Phone go flat, camera go flat, lights go flat, and in fact, if you look at the Golden Mile episode, while the camera was rolling, the light just went off on its own. And after that, the cameras, we had multiple cameras, and then you go tududung, all shut down. Alvin the Cruz was with me when we went over to Ubin for investigation. 3 cameras, each of us had 1 camera. All 3 cameras, memory full, battery flat, couldn't film anything. Left the place, got back to the the town center, everything's working fine.
Right.
They
Yeah.
can
I mean,
screw with technology.
last week we were talking about all the rituals that you make, that you have to take care of before you start filming somewhere outdoors at night, right? And every time you don't, one of the most common things that happens if you're filming in a, you know, forest or whatever, is also that all your equipment loses battery. You know, that happens a lot. So I think it's clear that spiritually, you know, I think electricity is something that they have a lot of control over lah. Right? You know, I don't think it's because they're trying to stop you from calling for help and all that. I don't think it's as specific as that. I think it's just a instinctive, natural thing that their presence immediately, you know, sort of causes a fluctuation, right? You know, or maybe it's something they arrange between iPhone and the spirit world. I'm not sure. Okay.
Are we back? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wait. I hope we're back. Okay, you guys are not really back. Hold on, I'm trying to get you guys back to. Okay. You cannot hear me? Mic check. Can John? Can you hear me? Okay, I need to find a way to bring you guys back. Okay. Hold on. Oh, see, like, I'm talking about all these kind of things. I do it. Okay, let me try. See, I can bring you all back to. No one can hear you guys. No one can hear you. You're not even streaming. John, totally out. Yeah. Oh! Okay, I'm gonna try to refresh again. Yeah. Okay. You guys, Bunyan will. I'm gonna refresh you guys, huh? Man. All right, guys. Technical error again. Everything seems to be going really smoothly until now. Yeah, we cannot hear them. I can hear them now that they're back. Testing. Are you guys here? John? Okay, hold on. I am back. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you. Can you hear him?
Oh, I can't hear you guys. I cannot hear you guys at all. Okay. Okay, so I can hear you guys now. I just need to find a way to bring you guys back to the stream. Because if I have to. No, they can hear you guys just now because you guys were on my speaker. Okay, see, what I can do is I can potentially log out of my OBS and hopefully the stream doesn't end. And no, not you guys, it's on my OBS side. Oh no. Oh lama. Oh la la. Like that. Okay. Wait, I try one more time. Huh? I'm gonna delete everything first. Yeah. Browser. Okay.
Okay. Of course.
It works. It works.
Hey,
Okay. Hey.
are we back?
No.
Huh?
No. You are there.
John is back. Okay. Yay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
okay.
I just saw my name spelled 3 different ways. All right. Okay. 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 Yes. Hi, Sean. I'm back. Oh, Belinda there. Belinda, no sound. Say something. Okay. Visually, we're all back.
Oh shit, Belinda, no sound. Okay.
Can't hear Belinda.
Okay. Can I?
I need to go and do the cleansing spell.
Wow, I saved the day. I am the
Did you?
smooth operator.
Well, cannot hear
They
leh.
can hear
Still
already?
Belinda no sound.
Alamak.
Ivan is saying Belinda no sound.
Wait. Give 20 seconds. We got
I'll
lag
give 20
between.
seconds.
Okay.
We hear Eugene and John. Okay. Yeah, all good
Okay,
now.
all back. Okay,
All
all
back.
right. Yay! Well done, Eugene.
Okay.
Safe already.
Where were we?
So we were having a Dion experience, lah, right? Obviously, the jinn were listening, and then they didn't like what we were saying. Okay, I mean, I'm really fascinated by the idea of higher beings, right? And who have greater powers, and also have their own world, and their own things to do. They have their meetings, they have their fights, they have their whatever. And sometimes it's just about whether we sway, right? We stumble into their things, or we cross lines with them, and then either if we're lucky, we get away without too much damage, like Dion. If you're unlucky, then we get in trouble, lah. She got the 3 scratches, and I'm wondering whether that's a sort of like a warning, to make sure that she doesn't jog there again, or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think the 3 scratches are? Or was it something separate?
Oh.
Like there were 2 different hantu.
Wait. We are paused again.
Oh?
Oh dear.
Oh no, hang again. Oh no,
we are
lag.
back again.
Are we back? Okay.
No. The internet, is it?
Eh?
Be
Your
the
dial-up.
jinn, ah.
Eugene. Okay, you close all the windows that are showing porn. Okay, close all those windows. Creepy type. Do you like that more?
Yeah, so I was watching this show that I think is quite close to what a real haunting is. It's called The Haunting of Hill House. Have you
Okay.
watched that
Yes,
show?
yes, I love
Yeah,
that.
that one is quite close to what a real haunting is. Maybe not as dramatic lah, maybe not as like but it does kill if it's the energy is very strong, then it will kill off your family one by one.
Yeah. It's
So
almost
it's
like
like
it's
it
almost like a
affects the family
curse.
members lah.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
haunting becomes like a curse like that.
Yeah,
Right?
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Yay!
But
Okay.
I
Oh
can't hear
yeah.
me.
Okay, we
we're back.
decided to talk about a safer topic, so we were chatting about movies.
Oh, they can hear us.
I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's not risk going back to that topic. Okay. Okay, let's just
Oh
talk
no,
about this.
we are still paused again. I
Again,
don't- I
oh
don't
no, we haven't
know.
even. Eugene sacrificed to let the streaming go on.
Yeah, you guys can be. I think you guys can hear me. You just can't see me.
Yeah.
I mind. Carry on. You guys carry
Can
on.
Eugene just be a voice? Okay,
Yeah, I'll be the
Eugene,
voice. I'll be the voice.
first. Okay. So we were talking about the scratches, right? And you've witnessed scratches before, right? What do you think? What do you think causes the scratches? What do you think is the purpose of the scratches?
I think
Is it an effort to harm,
It's to harm.
or is it something
I
else?
think it's to harm.
Is it to harm?
Yeah. To me, the scratch is almost to show you, look, I can draw blood. Look, I can cause pain. And that's just one level different from I pushing you down the stairs.
So it's your first warning, lah.
That to me. Some can even give you bruises. But when you can have scratch, it draws blood, I think that is not your wandering spirit. It's a different level. It's almost demonic in nature. Like what people say is it's a Pontiana, or some people say it's the demon in the English, the Ang Mo way. But that's the level that we are dealing with.
I'm going to go really technical for a moment and talk about why every time we hear about these scratches, right, they cannot scratch clothing,
Why?
right? Why is it always under the fabric? What do you think? Since they are so powerful,
Oh,
Maybe Miss P as a woman, she have to respect fashion. So cannot go and anyhow scratch people clothes. But I don't respect you.
I love that. I love that. Respect the clothes.
maybe they couldn't attack organic stuff. Maybe damage organic stuff.
I'm wondering because I'm thinking, right. I don't know how to put this. So it's kind of like some those of you who like to watch films about possessions, right? Right, and sometimes when the special effects is really good, right, and you see like the demon scratches the person or whatever, right, and the really good effect seems to suggest that the scratch is coming from inside the skin. It's almost like the skin is tearing on its own rather than an external force is tearing it. It's like it's the way like boils form or pimples form or something, right? It's coming from within, right? So I'm wondering whether it's possible for the spirit to be so powerful that it's kind of making your skin scratch itself.
Making your
So
skin
it's not-
scratch itself.
I don't know if that explains. So it's not like Freddy Krueger where there is something sharp. It's her nails scratching, because then there's no reason why her nails cannot scratch your sports bra. Right, because it's solid, but it's because it's coming from the
inside.
other side.
Oh,
Yes, that's why. So it doesn't pass through the sports bra. It doesn't pass through your clothes. It's coming from inside your skin, which means it's a psychic scratch.
Wow, I didn't think of that.
Right?
Maybe scratch your like human energy.
Correct.
Something like
Yeah, it's like a chi kind of scratch, right? But then your body will show the scar, but your clothes don't feel it because they're not organic. They don't feel the chi, right? I think chi is one way that we can start to understand that. Because chi doesn't always impact you in a traditional physical way. It affects you inside. So I don't know. I mean, that's a sort of para hantu.
What you are saying now just brings to mind that the spirit has already entered your body and it's clawing from inside out.
Yeah, correct.
Now
It has
that is
much
very
control.
different. That's a lot scarier than outside scratch.
Yeah, I think that's much more terrifying. Much more terrifying. Because I think we have to remember that inside and outside are not the same, right? For the spirits.
Oh, Saravana has a suggestion. He says attacking your astral body, which then affects your physical body. That's why it bypasses the clothes. It's your astral
That could
self
be.
that it manifests on your
Yeah.
body.
I think that's quite possible. Yeah. So again, that's like the idea of qi, lah, right? Because I mean, like the whole notion of qi, right, was once explained to me by a shifu, right? And he explained that, he's so powerful, right? His years of training, right? That he can only fight with people of his own level of training. He cannot fight with someone weaker, simply because he cannot attack them. They don't have enough qi for his qi to attack. He might as well just walk over and punch them in the face, because he can only fight someone whose qi is strong enough, right? His astral energy is strong enough that his astral energy can fight with it.
Because they're on the same level, lah.
Correct. Yeah, so it's possible, right? That this is all fighting on an astral level, and then our physical body sometimes show the damage, lah. Right? That's a very interesting. So that is definitely Parahantu, okay? So okay, some of you were asking what Parahantu means. Okay, so that's a new term for today that we just coined. All right? I think
New word.
the idea behind Parahantu is that we are trying to find almost technical, rational way of understanding how supernatural things work. So being scientific about the hantu, assuming that one day these two things will merge and we will finally understand it all, and it's all the same thing actually. But right now, is hantu going towards science. Okay, it's called Parahantu.
Well, we're almost coming to the end of the show. I think there's a lot to talk about, and I'm sorry that I am now staring at you blankly in the face, holding a glass of wine. And also, thank you very much, Belinda, for joining us this evening. We definitely want to have you back again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the other hosts back from before. They're going to make appearances. We're going to Bill, Matt, Sonia, JDC, even ET is making an appearance in April. And of course, you have a lot of new faces that you have never seen before. I think this year, with the revolving door concept, you get to hear the ones that you are used to, and also new faces that you have not heard from before, but now they get a chance to shine along with us. So tonight, 11:30, in just a couple more minutes, I want you guys to go down to YouTube where you are right now and catch Belinda's confession. That's about 20 minutes long. Let's take a look at a little teaser that she has for us.
When I went back to my own house, I was playing SC Confession while I was doing my work. So I was doing my work late night already, probably about maybe 1 or 2 o'clock already in the morning. So after that, suddenly, a presence behind me, very, very strong, very, very angry and very evil kind of presence. I know it's her. Then I like, fuck, I need to go and sleep already. If I stay here any longer, I think she's going to do something bad to me lah. So the feeling is like, if anybody has ever give you the evil stare before, and stare right into your soul, that kind. Like you do something wrong, like maybe you break your mother's plate, then you never tell your mom. That kind of feeling. Then your mom be like just like super angry at you, but that one you just multiply by 10.
Oh, multiply by 10. Alright, so check it out. Belinda's confession tonight. Very interesting stuff. I had when I was taking her confession, she had a lot more to talk about.
I have a lot.
Yeah, so
I have so much.
yeah, so we're gonna squeeze all these confessions out of her. Also, if you have anyone that you know yourself, maybe you want to come on up to talk about your experience, Supernatural Confessions is the place to talk about it, because we want to hear from you. We are here to destigmatize the whole notion that you cannot talk about it. We want to hear you. This entire platform celebrates the sharing of supernatural experiences. Yeah. Also,
the hantu uncle wants to hear your stories.
Alamak. Shit, that's going to stick, hantu uncle. And you can buy a hantu uncle and the rest of us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Super confess. Any other last words from you guys?
Yeah. I'm taking a lovely screenshot. Okay. Yes. Okay. Last words. Come, Belinda, go first.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun today. So the chat has been very supportive also. Yay. I'm very happy. So I would like to be on maybe next time again. We'll see when Eugene invite. Yeah.
Sure.
For sure. Eugene?
Well, I'm just going to end off today's session with the greatest trick that the devil has ever pulled is to convince you that he doesn't exist. That's why first knee-jerk reaction is must be the hantu. Don't let the hantu win, okay?
Okay, I'm just going to celebrate today's word of the day. Okay, so the new phrase is it must be the para hantu.
All right. Belinda, how you want to have your tagline? Not any last words? Your final goodbye message. Your cool one-liner.
Slogan. It must be the gene.
Oh.
We're gonna prepare you next time. You're gonna have before next time you come back again. You're gonna have one good tagline. Anyway, see lah, John, what you started?
Okay.
They got a hantu uncle T-shirt and all now.
Yeah, new merch. Come on.
Hantu uncle.
New
No,
merch.
hantu koko, hantu swiker. Hantu uncle.
We whichever one that everyone votes for lah. Okay.
Alrighty, good night, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Next week, our Friday night guest, very special. We have Sight Wilson.
Oh.
And we're going to be dissecting confessions from Dark Arts of Sight Wilson. And Sight Wilson will be choosing for us 3 stories to dissect.
Lovely. Yay.
Okay, good night. Tell everyone about us. 10 p.m. next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
See you all.
Bye.
Good night.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.